Good morning, Panther fans, and welcome to another Monday in the Box post-game week 2 versus Arizona. I'm your host, Timmy VO. Well, let's just get into it. Wow, quite the attempt in the second half to come back from that ridiculousness that was the first quarter of the game. But I think something that gets lost in the shuffle here is the fact that our defense has finally arrived, considering they played this way on the road. Considering I think we had 3 turnovers in this game, and we kept giving Arizona a short field to work with. This defense has finally showed up. Derek Brown is reminding people how important he was. Especially considering what happened last season. And let's jump into the box score real quick. And by all means, folks, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. I don't just drop Monday in the Box. I also drop a lot of shorts and things of that nature. And also, if you're not following me on TikTok, I drop a lot of content over there too. And also, I communicate with folks on Twitter, X, and Facebook. So let's check this out real quick. Boom. All right. Okay, here we go. Now it's not that bad actually. Now I'm looking. I had time to relax, and I normally record right after the game, but it was a late game, and wifey brought home some dinner, so I decided to hang out with her instead. Yeah, you'll be all right. All right, so let's get into the individual statistics first, and then we'll jump into the team statistics. And while I'm talking to you guys about this, I'm going to again, as always, explain some things. So thanks for checking out the Panther Comms Podcast. All right, on the left side there, you'll see the Carolina Panthers stats, obviously, and then on the right you have Arizona. We had 49 total yards rushing as a team. We have 49 total yards rushing. We're not supposed to win that game anyway. We're not supposed to win that game anyway. But more importantly, we held the Cardinals to only 82 yards rushing total. 82 yards total for the game. You would think it was worse than that, but it wasn't. We kept beating ourselves. Okay. Connor finished with 34 yards total rushing. His longest rush was 8. Of course, Kyler Murray had that ridiculous Houdini act when Roseboom came through the A gap and had him dead to rights, and he just slipped away. He's a little guy, but he's strong, he's quick, he's fast. So that's where that 30-yarder came from. You take that out of the equation, we're looking at 52 yards total rushing for the team. Their backup Benson had 14 yards total rushing. So I mean, hey, our defense showed up for the most part. Kyler Murray had 220 yards total passing. His longest pass wound up being 31 yards. Okay. So hold on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put that back up for you. For you video watchers. But yeah, Kyler Murray only had 220. I think a lot of that came in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, except for that 31-yarder. And Bryce, hey, well, I mean, what can you say? 55 attempts, 35 completions. I think he was around somewhere in the 56th percentile in terms of completions. We'll get that in a second. His longest was 40-yarder. I believe that was to Tet. And he left the game with a 90.6 QBR, 3 touchdowns. What can you say? JT Sanders in terms of receiving. All right, going to receiving receiving bracket here. Sanders had 9 targets, 7 receptions. Renfrow 9 targets, 7 receptions. T-Mac 10 targets, 6 receptions for 100 yards. His longest was 40. Like I mentioned before. Unfortunately, he's yet to get in the end zone for a touchdown, but man, he sustains drives. He's a first down killer. Hunter Renfrow, people talking about why we bring Hunter back. Well, he had 2 touchdowns this game. If that tells you anything. Okay. And I know what everybody's thinking. Like, how did XL do? XL had 8 targets, 1 reception, -2 yards for a receiver. Now, granted, I know, of course, that was behind the line of scrimmage, mind you, but yeah. We took this guy in the first round last year. Yeah. Man, Tommy Tremble, I'm so glad he's back. 3 targets, 3 catches for 20. That Tremaine kid out of Stanford, I believe, number 87. Where the hell did he come from? Another 6'4" receiver, big body. He had a remarkable catch yesterday. A remarkable catch. I have to give it up for the scout team. I mean, not the scout team. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. For the scouts, the talent scouts, the player scouts. They keep finding these gems. Coker, Tremaine. I mean, it's amazing for real. XL I guess he's just in the wrong spot because he's not making our front office stop. He's not making them stop looking for receivers, right? They keep looking for receivers, even though he's on the roster. That should tell you something. You can do all that, all season workout, all the other bullshit you want to. But when the shit hits the fan and you're not performing, like I mentioned to a Panther fan on TikTok, playing in the NFL, there are no off moments, especially during the regular season. There are no, he's just getting it in garbage time. There is no garbage time. People who say that never played a game, especially at a high level. There is no such thing as garbage time in the NFL because every play is a moment for you to shine, or hopefully shine, and not screw up because other people are looking, not just the coaching staff. Okay? Trade deadline is we're nowhere near the trade deadline, folks. So you got to understand something, people. There is no such thing as garbage time in the NFL. When you step on that field, every moment is a job interview. Every single moment is a job interview. I get it. Top tier competitors, people don't come across these people very often. I should train these folks. I played junior college football in California. The equivalent to what was basically a D2 program in North Carolina. I mean, if you look at the talent, seriously. There's the guys on my team that went to Utah, went to Bowling Green, went to Oregon. So, I mean, it's not what you think, folks. There is no such thing as garbage time in the NFL. There is not. This is not high school. Okay? XL is just not getting it. He's just not getting it, unfortunately. Anyway, let's go back. Back to the stats. All right. So, interceptions. That Wonnum had that one interception, man. I love seeing big guys grabbing one. That was good. D Brown. D Brown. Derek Brown was extremely disruptive at the line of scrimmage, big time. Let's see here. ETN is still doing great on special teams. Bryce had that fumble first drive. I mean, that could have crushed a lot of people, man. And that kudos to the coaching staff. That could crush a lot of teams. You just came off of a loss, and somewhat of a bad loss, to be honest with you, because we should have beat the Jaguars, obviously. And then you come into this situation, and it's like, damn, But hey, perseverance. Okay. So team statistics. Now here comes the fun part, right? All right. Total first downs. Again, this is the whole thing about the Cardinals working with the short field, turnovers, things of that nature, and our defense stepping up when necessary. They only had 16 first downs the entire game, folks. That breaks down to 4 first downs a quarter. And if you saw the game in the second half, the Panthers didn't have a lot of possessions. They sustained drives, they didn't have a lot of possessions. Okay, they made the most of that shit, except for the after we got the ball after the onside kick, we just shit the bed basically. But that goes back to coaching. But anyway, we had 26 first downs in the game. All right, 4 rushing, 19 by passing. All right. The Cardinals only had 5 first downs by rushing. Okay. Third down efficiency, we were dead even. We had 6 more attempts, but we both, the Cardinals and the Panthers, finished with 33% completion rate. Efficiency, 33%. 5 of 15. Fourth down efficiency, we went for it on fourth down 4 times and converted 3 of those for a 75% completion rate. Okay. Completion as in completing the attempt. Right. Don't want to confuse anybody there. Total net yards, we have 352. Most of those came from Bryce. Okay. We had 77 total offensive plays, averaging 4.6 per. Now, the Cardinals had 48 plays, but they were averaging 6.1 per. Average game per offensive play was something interesting as well. Yeah, 6.1. Okay. Net rushing yards. Again, 49 to 82 net. And then, again, that's partly because of Kyler Murray's escape artist ability. You take off that 30-yarder that he had on that scramble, it's 52 to 49, right? And Bryce really didn't scramble that much this game. Average game per rushing, wow, 2.6. This is by far probably our worst. I'll get it straight here in just a second. I'm sorry. Our worst rushing game. Gosh, I want to say over the past 3 years, maybe even this was pretty bad. We barely averaged 3 yards a rush. That's pretty bad. Wow. And we still should have won this game. Net yards passing, 303 to 211. Passing attempts and completions. So again, I mentioned before, 35 out of 55, and one interception. Right. We had 3 passing touchdowns. They also had, 3 passing touchdowns. They had one defensive touchdown and 1 passing and 1 rushing for Arizona. And like I mentioned before, again, you don't turn over that ball. You don't fumble that ball at the like a 12, 15-yard line, something crazy of our own part of the field, and the defensive player rolls in for a touchdown. We win this game. Our defense held that team to only 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, out of 4 quarters, off of 3 turnovers, technically. Again, this is offensive touchdowns. We're supposed to win this game, folks. And that's something to build off of. Red zone efficiency. I like that. We got in the red zone. We converted 3 out of 4, 75% efficiency. Goal to go efficiency, 2 out of 3. Okay. And again, the final score was 27-22. Time of possession, we beat them out by 7 again because we kept giving them short fields. Okay. All right. So for the most part, and in terms of offense, XL is a non-factor. I don't know why we're using him as a gadget guy, because he's not that kind of guy. He's not a dog like that. He's not Deebo Samuel. He's not. He's a pretty boy wide receiver who was not as good as Tet, who was not as good as Coker, clearly. Even though Coker's on IR. We just go off of what happened last year. Coker is clearly a more polished wide receiver than XL. There was no question about that. Having Hunter on this team was a good thing. He didn't practice that much last week because of those rib shots he was was getting in Jacksonville. But yeah, he's definitely an asset to this team. That goes without saying. It's great to have Trimble back, like I mentioned before. Unfortunately, Big Hunt and Corbett got injured in this game. We might not get Hunt back for a while. We might not get him back for a while. It was a bicep injury, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure what's up with Corbett, but his snaps to Bryce it progressively got better during the game. That might be because Bryce got in his shit on the sideline. But yeah. Our offense clearly turned it around in the second half, and made that score a lot more respectable. It was 27-3 at one point. Final score was 27-22. All right. Defense real quick. Look at these defense stats, individual stats, mind you. Moreg, who we brought over from the Raiders, is really coming through. He has 7 tackles, 2 assists for a combined 9 tackles. Roseboom has 7 tackles. Wallace only had 3. He's a starter. He only had 3 tackles, 2 assists, 1 solo tackle. Now Roseboom only had 1 solo tackle, but he has 6 assists. He's flying around the field, bro. And like I mentioned in the podcast from the Jacksonville game, Roseboom has a lot of effort in him. He does not quit on the play. He does not quit at all. Big Jones, 3 tackles, 1 assist for 4 combined, but he also had tackle for a loss, right? And a pass deflection. Wonnum's proven to be a big part of this defense too. He only had 1 tackle, 3 assists for a total, but he also had a tackle for a loss, right? Interception, pass deflection. Big Derek, 3 tackles, 3 solo tackles, mind you. And he had 2 pass deflections. It's great to see Ransom in the game. 1 tackle, 3 assists for a combined 4 tackles. Prince, 1 tackle, but we all know he had that 1 sack. He was the only person with a sack this game. But getting a sack on Kyler Murray says a lot. That says a lot about your speed and quickness. Nick Scorton, he only had 1 assist. Ashawn, 1 assist. But yeah, these guys showed up, man. They really showed up. I was impressed by this. I was really impressed by this. Okay. So first half summary real quick. In terms of scoring plays, and this is the first half. Okay. So you get the fumble return by Collins, of course. There's 13 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first quarter when that happened. So that was roughly under a minute and a half in the game, and we already gave him a score. And then the Cardinals again, had a 29-yard field goal. Then of course we had our field goal towards the end of the first quarter. And then, the Cardinals got another field goal. I think it was 10 plays, 61 yards, 5 minutes and 24 seconds off the clock. And then we had a chance at the end of the second quarter to do something good, and it didn't pan out, and they wound up getting a field goal in that situation. Okay. Yeah. That was interesting. Now, again, what I have to say here overall, my overall grade for the Panthers, I'll give them a C+, primarily because of the slow start from the offense. Again, the defense came to play. That is unmistakable. The defense really did come to play, and I'm extremely thankful for that. Of course, we have our first home game in the season Sunday against Atlanta, division game. These are the games we got to win. Getting to the playoffs, I know it's early. We're 0-2, But getting to the playoffs starts by winning your division. If you can win your division, if you can dominate your division, the chances are you might squeak into the playoffs, and hopefully you'll have a somewhat of a momentum going into that situation. But it starts with beating our division opponents. All right, playing a team twice at the pro level is extremely hard to do in terms of winning. So that's that situation. I really expect this offense to come back, lick their wounds, and come out there and start fast. I would love to see Bryce in more of a hurry up offense style type of situation, kind of like a speed huddle, kind of just shifting in personnel, but just getting guys on the line of scrimmage fast enough so he can dissect the defense. He clearly shows that when he's in command of that offense on the field, and we're in somewhat of a hurry up, defenses have a hard time matching up. They have a hard time disguising their defense. They have a hard time disguising their blitz packages because it's rapid. It's hard to jump on that. So I would really like Canales to give Bryce that type of command. I would really like to see Bryce take control of this offense, without a doubt. Evero is starting to prove himself in terms of a coordinator. Clearly, having the right talent on the field with the right system can pay off dividends for you. And this is what we're seeing now. I trust Dan Morgan when it comes to defense. If you're a Panthers fan and you don't trust Dan Morgan as a GM in terms of his defensive options, you got a problem. If Dan is behind Evero, I'm behind Evero, because again, we're talking about a former Pro Bowl middle linebacker in the NFL who went to a Super Bowl. Dan knows what he's doing. Okay, so I'm not too worried about that. So on to Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. Well, excuse me. Back to the crib, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Atlanta to an ass whooping. That's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't be too down about the team right now, folks. Again, it's early. We still have a lot of games to play. Hopefully we won't keep getting dinged up like this. But hey, it's football. People get dinged up. One of the benefits, I hate to say this, but one of the benefits of having injuries early, you can kind of get these guys healed up and rested, so that when they come back in, middle of the season, towards the end of the season, whatever, they can be somewhat fresh, ready to go. That's the only benefit I can see from this. And hopefully Bryce won't get hurt. That's the only thing I'm worried about, because he was getting tagged a little bit this last game. But he's a tough son of a gun. I have to give it to him. Tet McMillan, right? T-Mac. He's gonna be a Pro Bowler, folks. He's gonna be a multi Pro Bowler. He's that guy. He's that guy. I really hope you're watching this guy play. He is smooth. He's very tough. He trucked one guy for Arizona. I think it was that play where he had to cut. He came back to the ball. I think it was like a 6-yard dig. He came back, not dig, 6-yard comeback. Grabbed that bad boy, gave him the look over the left shoulder, went right up the sideline, and came face to face with an Arizona defender, and boom, ran his butt over. No smack talk, no nothing. Looked at him, gave the ball to the ref, went back to the huddle. I like that kid. He's all business. He is all business. All business. And of course, he had to show out, man. He went back to Arizona. He wanted to show his ass. But hey, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We're building with the youth. We have a youth movement in Carolina. Hopefully we have a coaching staff that is not afraid to learn and switch it up a little bit with the personnel, with the play schemes, with the play calling. I don't know what the hell coach was thinking after we got that onside kick though. That really irked me. They try to put the clamps on Bryce again. They should just let Bryce just keep running that 5 wide, 12 personnel that we were using. We had 2 tight ends. We had JT and real quick, we had JT and Trimble on the field, but we were putting them in like a 5 wide situation with Tet, XL, and Renfrow. Okay. And we would put Chuba motion him out there too, right? See, we can keep that personnel. We can keep that 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, one running back, and still have a 5 wide situation. Still spread out the field. And you know, when you have somebody like Bryce, who is athletic, mind you, Bryce can escape. I really think that is a personnel grouping that we can utilize in a lot of different ways. And then hopefully coach will sit on that. So yeah, we're 0-2, folks, but we don't feel 0-2. Not in my eyes. I don't think we don't replicate our record right now. I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, Atlanta, a week from Sunday. Well, excuse me, 6 days. What can you say? All right. Hey, thanks for watching thanks for checking out the Panther Comms Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And Panther fans, by all means, keep pounding.